All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Beers with the Band. I'm your host, Chris Schrum. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who is joining us for the first time, and welcome back to all those who have listened since day one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to catch every episode. Now, on with the show. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm sitting down with Mr. Ben Wilbers.
Hello.
All right, Ben, if you'll tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you're sipping on and where you're located, we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. Yeah, well, my name is Ben Wilbers. I go by a lot of different names online. The most likely that you'll find me is the Fallen Incarnates, but you could also like Ben Cadenza. The Fallen Archive is my like SoundCloud where I like post unreleased music and like get feedback on it. So you can hear me through that. But mostly you'll just hear me as like the Fallen Incarnates. I'm originally from Jeff City, Missouri, but I'm up in school 2 hours north in like Kirksville, Missouri. So I'm spending like most of my time there now. And yeah, I've been doing music for about 4 years now. I've been really just been having fun with it, not really trying to do anything serious out of it, but my degree is related to music that I'm studying. So I guess in a sense, sort of doing what I'm doing now is kind of a path I want to go down for the future. But also like, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do after college because it's a lot to think about. But, yeah, that's really about mostly everything I got about myself. And I am about a year away from being the legal age to drink. But I really wanted to join you on here. So I decided to get some Sprite Zero Sugar and join you on here. It's been a very long time since I've had like an actual genuine Sprite, like a non-zero sugar. Ever since I started losing weight about 2 years ago, I just kind of cut it out completely because that was like the main issue as to why I was such a heavy set fella. But I figured just for one night, might as well at least have one. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Little side note, I gave up Mountain Dew. Oh man, maybe 2 years ago. And when I say gave up Mountain Dew, I gave up cola. Just period.
Yeah.
When I was in college, man, I had professors that thought Mountain Dew can was glued to my hand. I'm sorry, Mountain Dew bottle was glued to my hand. Because anytime they saw me, I had one in my hand. And I was drinking way too many of them. And one day I decided, you know what? I'm tired of this. This stuff's expensive. It's not good for me. I think I'm just going to quit.
Yeah.
I was a little miserable for about a week.
Oh, yeah.
And I was able to get past it. Man, once I got past it, every now and then, if I need to wake up, if I need a shot of caffeine or something, I'll get either a cup of coffee, or if I'm not around a coffee shop, I'll get those small little cans, Mountain Dew, and knock one of those out. But
yeah, that's fair.
Even while I'm drinking it, sometimes my body's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are we doing this for?
Yeah. Same here.
All right. Well, I am drinking, for everyone out there, hopefully it's showing up on the computer, a vanilla pumpkin ale from Schlafly. It says ale brewed with vanilla extract, pumpkin, and spices. And this is a very limited run here in Nashville. A lot of places can't get this, but luckily my guy is able to. So
that's great.
That's the first time I've ever even seen it, much less tasted it. But it's 8%. ABV, 12 fluid ounces. Oh, wow, man.
Mm.
This smells like straight pumpkin
Oh, wow.
and spice. I mean, not fake pumpkin. It smells like
Like
real
real pumpkin?
pumpkin.
Huh.
I'm getting a little bit of vanilla, but
Mm-hmm.
oh wow. Oh, that is tasty.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is really tasty. Little bit of vanilla, not a great
Mhm.
deal, but it's like a vanilla bean, so it's not real sweet. Um,
Right.
it's got a nice subtle pumpkin flavor and like a coriander in a or cooking spice, very subtle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really good though.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna have to call my guy and get him set me back a few more
Yeah, no
sixers of
kidding.
that right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Wow. While I finish getting this in a glass, you said you were in college. What's your degree that you're shooting for?
So the degree that I'm going for is music business. It's more of a like newer degree, but like it's in the music field, but it sort of like broadens the horizons for like job opportunities I can have outside of like like a music teaching or a degree or like a performance degree, because those don't really like they never really settled well with me. Like I'm not a big fan of teaching, honestly. I can't really handle especially kids younger than me. I like just I don't think I'd be able to teach them. And performance, I have really bad performance anxiety, at least when I pick up trumpet, because that's my main instrument outside of my performance. I play a lot of trumpet, but when I pick that up, there's a lot of anxiety that I have when I play it. Like, whew, it's bad. So with music business, like it's just opening up that variety of things I can do. Like ideally, I think a live sound technician would be a lot of fun, or like working in the live sound field. Being around the music in general would be great. And also like I'm also working for a marketing minor because I have connections back at home to like a really good job, like a really good job that pays really well. So I think if I have that minor or maybe just go back to school and make it a major in marketing, then maybe I could work there if I decide that music doesn't work out for me.
You said you've been in music for 4 years.
Yeah,
Is when you say that, well, first of all, what genre of music do you play?
great question. I do almost really anything. Like the most genre, like the biggest genre you'll see me play is like rock or metal or stuff like that. But I also like dabble in some hip hop and rap. I've done pop. I've done a little bit of Christian. I'm working on some country music. It's really just like whatever I want to do because like I'm trying to just express myself instead of like make a number one record or something. Like make something that hits, like following a checklist that like goes viral and guarantees hits. I just want to like instead just do something that's like that gets my emotions out, gets my feelings out, expresses who I am. And yeah, well, at least for production, that's kind of what I go for. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're content with being an indie artist. If
Yeah.
you put that label on yourself, you don't want to. It sounds like you're not making music to get with the label and be signed with the label and make music your career. Is
Right.
that true?
Yeah, that would be true because I've heard a lot of really bad things about record labels in my time. Like I've heard of the like horrible splits that the labels will give their artists. Like I think it was Jelly Roll or something that was mentioning like sometimes they'll give artists like a 95-5 split. like where the label gets 95% of the earnings and the artist only gets 5, and then they have to pay back a little bit of stuff. And also, labels are just not that great with like artists, period, like treating them right. Immediately, a couple come to mind, like Juice World. After his death, it was they've essentially just been milking all of the content that he's created, just releasing it to fill their pockets. But also, they're doing that for money. But also, Taylor Swift, from what I understand, I'm not a Swiftie, so if anybody's watching this, and like if any people that listen to my music are watching this, I'm not a Swiftie, so like don't think bad of me for that. I'm kidding. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, her label treated her awfully, like very poorly for the longest time, for what I understand. And like they kept her music for the longest time, which is why she released all those Taylor's versions of everything. So like she could have like some of the rights to her music, but only recently she got like the full rights to them. But and just a couple other things that I've heard about labels. It's like at this point, I could understand like 20 years ago wanting to sign with one, but like now it just doesn't really sit with me anymore.
Well, you said you're studying music business.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you want to work for a label, or why exactly are you studying the business part of music?
Great question. I initially, my freshman year, I came into it with the idea that maybe I could do music full time. But then as I started going through schooling, I was like, maybe it's best if I don't, just because of how like uncertain it can be in the music field. So, but like, oh, that's a really good question. Um, whew. I went for business because I thought it would sound better on a resume, and also, again, just to broaden the horizons for paths that I could go down in the music field. So like working with one, I think would be fine, but also like working with one not as an artist, but like working with them like as a job. If that kind of makes sense what I'm trying to say, like working with a label instead of like being an artist under a label. That would kind of be fine, but also ideally what I'm thinking is a live sound technician, like I mentioned, because I don't they pay pretty well, and also like I'm I'm working a job right now where I kind of get to experience that sort of that field of like the engineering and stuff that goes into it, and I'm intrigued by it. So I think if I do that more, then I could probably turn that into a career.
Live sound tech, is
Hmm.
there are there classes that overlap music business and, say, some sort of certificate for a live sound check or a live sound tech? I'm sorry. Um, are there classes that overlap?
Yeah, actually, there's a class that I'm taking right now that is live sound technologies that centers around making the live sound at like a venue or a performance hall, making that sound good and leave the audience happy, essentially. Because like if there's like something slightly wrong with the like sound, then the audience is not going to think that highly of the show act. And this is something that I picked up very quickly on. Like the first day of class, he mentioned that, and my professor mentioned that, and I was like, "That's interesting, very interesting." But he's not wrong. Like if you go to like a dive bar, not like a dive bar. If you go to like an amphitheater and with like really good high quality like live sound equipment, and like the bass is a little bit too loud, or the singer's vocals are like constantly topping out at whenever they're singing, then you're not necessarily going to think that highly of it. But like you go to a dive bar and also thinking about the area there, and you listen to the music there, if it sounds good, you're going to like think that's some of the best music you've ever heard, if that makes sense.
It does. I've been to open air venues. I've been to dive bars. I've been to small music venues, and it it's awful, quite frankly.
Mhm.
Some of the shows I've been to, the sound was just so. I mean, it didn't work at all, and
Right.
a lot of times when I've talked to bands about this, a lot of times it seems like the bass and or the drums
Hmm.
just overwhelm the entire show. And I've been to shows where you couldn't even hear the vocals because
Yes.
of the bass and
Hmm.
because of the drums. And it was off.
Yes.
And I knew the band and I knew the singer could sing.
Hmm.
But if you happen to be there watching another band or you just happen to want to go see a show,
Hmm.
you would not walk away from that performance a fan of that band because the sound was so bad. And it seemed
Yeah.
like I've been to shows where it seems like they do a sound check for the main act
Hmm.
and they go ahead and set all their levels for that main act and they don't really do anything for the supporting artist and they
Yeah.
got to kind of figure it out and try to make it work on stage.
Hmm.
And that's not fair to me.
No, it's
And
not
I
fair.
think
No.
that if I had a music venue, I think one of the things that I would really focus on is the sound. And I
Oh
would
yeah.
try to make every artist the best they could be on stage. And I,
Hmm.
if an artist says, "Look, in this song, it's a little guitar heavy, so we're gonna focus on the guitar. Let's do a sound check with that song. Let me know what you want. We'll work
Hmm.
it over here. And if in this other song it's more of a ballad, and we want to focus on vocals,
Hmm.
let me know, and we'll go ahead and make adjustments beforehand, and not try to
Right.
make adjustments during the show."
Right. Yes.
And it just that's one of the things that bothers me the most about small venues or outdoor venues.
Yeah. Hmm.
Sometimes they just wreck the sound.
Oh yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
and I can't believe here in Nashville that some of the shows I've been to, how bad the sound was.
Yeah. You'd
It
think
just,
like, yeah. You'd
there's a
think like,
show I paid pretty good money to go see. And one of the artists, it was an outdoor show. One of the artists, their bass was so heavy, it gave me a headache. And I ended up leaving before the main act even came on because I was
mm,
just so frustrated with the entire performance that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go home. This is awful.
yes.
And
Yep.
I can't believe in Nashville we got to go through things like that. You would
I
think
know.
here
Yeah,
that,
you'd think the music capital of the United States would like make sure that they have like good sound qualities with their shows. But like,
well, you would think that, but that
yeah.
obviously isn't the case. Um, but you mentioned that you played instrument or an
Hmm.
instrument. Do you play only one or do you play several?
No, I've had a very long history of instruments. I think when I got in second grade was when I picked up the piano first, and then in middle school, fifth grade, I picked up the trumpet for the first time, and I've been playing that ever since. I think it's getting close to like not 10, but like 9 years of playing trumpet. It got me through all of middle school and all of high school, and it's getting me through college. So it's going to be like almost 12 years of playing trumpet once it's said and done. And then my sophomore year of high school, I started picking up guitar. I'm not the best at it, but like I try and I'm still learning. So, but it's yeah, just playing instruments is a lot of fun, honestly, for me. Like I usually do that when I'm not doing anything else, just learning and playing and just trying to have fun with it. Because that's what music should be, fun.
Well, do you work on music daily?
Usually, yes. With my with my major, I have to prepare a solo at the end of the semester. So I'm working on that kind of music with my trumpet, but also like I write songs every once in a while when I get the inspiration. Guitar, I also pick it up if I just have the dedication because it's been very off and on ever since I picked it up for the first time. Um, but yeah, almost every day I'm doing something music related, whether it's trumpet, writing, guitar, or classwork, because a lot of my classes are music related. So, but yeah.
What does music mean to you?
Oh, that's a really good question. My whole life is kind of music. Like, it's essentially not my personality, but it's a lot of the things that I do. There's always music playing whenever like I'm around or if I'm like alone. Because like music, it gives me inspiration to both write my own music and a lot of times keep going through the day. Because sometimes there are really, really rough days that people just have in general. And I find that music, typically, depending on like the artist or the style, it can really help get people through like hard times, rough times. And so, and for me, like music is one of those things where like, how am I going to say this? Um, hmm. Music is one of those things that like it has an effect on your brain that like makes you feel a certain way, if that sort of makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so powerful a lot of the times, but also it can be why it's subjective a lot of times because what I listen to may not necessarily be like what I think sounds like good music or sounds like a good listen. For somebody else, they might hate it for those reasons. And that's actually something that's always fascinated me, how people can like dislike different types of music. If that, like how someone can like something, but someone can't like it for the same reasons that someone likes it. My my favorite album of all time, and the album that like really got me into producing music, is Cracked Rear View by Hootie and the Blowfish. And I love it because of like both the stylistic choices on there, and also like the sound and production is really well done, and also the like order of the music is just it's just amazing. It's good times, good vibes, and but I've met people that actually don't like that album because of the production. And I don't understand it because, like, I think it's really well produced. And I think the order of the music is great. It makes sense because it kind of goes from like upbeat, like happy music to like, and it ends with a like slow piano song. And throughout, it's just slowly getting slower and slower and more heartfelt. But yeah, yeah.
Well, I notice on your social media pages that you maybe post one short of you doing something hip hop related, and then your next short will be you doing more of a kind of a rock style song.
hmm
Um, is it easy for you to flip flop between those genres when you're writing a song?
Uh, Sometimes it's pretty easy. Like, when I write my music, I'm just like usually when something will come to mind like, oh, that would be like a good line to rap or like that would be a good line to like sing really heartfeltly. So I just kind of write it down, see where it goes, and then sometimes I'll like switch it around because I'm like these would probably be better as a different genre or like a different style. Or maybe if I just change something a little bit, maybe it'll sound a little bit better. But most as of recent, most of the hip hop stuff that I've been writing is for my friends in the venue community, like working on music with them. And there are like a lot of fantastic people in there, like Darth Martin, Lil Red, G Dot, Past November, Aaliyah Manson, just to name a couple of them, a couple of like really great people in that community that I work with just to make like good music. And so like when I make something or write lyrics, I'll be like, I bet you somebody like Simba or G Dot would work perfectly on a track like this. So like I just send it over to them. And if I've written stuff for it, I'll like we can make it like a collaboration. Or sometimes it'll be like a beat, just like a beat. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's not really hard, but also like it really just depends on the mindset that I'm in at the time of writing, if that makes sense.
So, how many songs have you written and sent them to another artist and said, "Here, I think this would work for you"? Would you
Oh, good.
consider yourself more of a songwriter than a performer, or maybe a little of both?
I could see a little bit of both. I mean, usually I don't like send like entirely written songs. I just send like beats because I don't want to limit the artist. I don't want the artist to feel like they're confined to just what I have written. So I'll send them a beat and I'll be like, work your magic, do what you want to do on here. It doesn't matter. But and then sometimes they'll be like, do you want to hop on this as well? And then I'll like write something down and do something. But I've sent like quite a few. There are the collaborations that I have done the entirety of 2025 from Saints Row with Zaybala to to Get Wrecked with Low Red. Every song that I've just sent it over to them with like no idea in mind what's going to happen and just like just do what you want to do on here. If you decide that you want me on here, just let me know and I can do something. But and I've also so like those collaborations are a thing. I've also just sent people beats that they use. Like Lil Red, he's used a beat that I sent him and he made a sequel to that song. And then maybe if I can like get things written, we're gonna do like a third song and I'm gonna be on it rapping a little bit. So yeah, just like yeah.
Do you produce your own beats?
I think there's only one song in my catalog that I did not produce myself. Wait, no, I take that back. No. Okay, so back whenever I started making music, the Fallen Incarnates was a band. We were a band, and a couple of the songs that we released on, like our first two songs and two songs off our self-titled album, were produced by a good friend of mine. I won't name drop him for now, just for his sake, but he helped me produce a lot of it, and I'd let him put a couple songs. I didn't let him. We put a couple of songs that he made on the album, and um, but aside from those and a couple of tracks that he produced for that self-titled album and the second album after that, and against the odds, one of my most popular songs in quotes I did not produce. I saw that on YouTube, reached out to the producer and got rights to it. So, but aside from that, everything else I've done is produced by me.
What is the creative process behind your music?
Ooh, just kind of feel the music, feel what you want to feel, kind of do what you want to do. If it doesn't work out, maybe like adjust something, but there shouldn't really be. What am I trying to say here? For me, I don't believe in the checklist of making hits. Like a lot of people I see on social media kind of project to everybody. Like you got to have these things in your songs, these progressions, these like styles or like this length or stuff like that. I don't necessarily believe in that, because at that point you're taking the word artist, stripping it of all of its meaning, and just solely making something to go viral. Kind of reminds me a lot of modern art, or like if you've seen anything like modern art, it's just people like messing around with like a paintbrush or something, or messing with buckets of sand. I've seen something like that, and they call it art, and it gets super viral because because that's how it is. But then like someone who puts a lot of time into something that they make does it because the passion behind it, you could see the passion in their work, but they just don't get there because it doesn't hit that checkbox. That doesn't check all the boxes on the checklist. And so for me, I just feel the music, just do what I kind of feel like is right, write lyrics that I feel like are that fit the style, and overall, if I feel like the song is not truly expressing me or expressing the point I'm trying to get across, I'm not going to push it out. I'm not going to put it out because it's art. It's not just something. It's not just a thing. It's art, and it should be art.
Working in different genres, you probably have a fan base in each genre, I would think. Um, who are your fans? Who's out there listening to your music? Who interacts with you on social media?
Hmm. A lot of people in the venue community, and I'm very appreciative of that, but they like a lot of my music. And also people that I went to high school with that know me, they're like, this is like good stuff. I can definitely see the improvement from when you started. But overall, I think my target audience is like people who really actually are the definition of listen to everything, because you hear people say that all the time. Oh, I listen to anything. And then you like put on some like deathcore or something and they get super uncomfortable. But like the people that I feel like listen to my music are genuine people that lit that actually will like listen to anything as long as they feel like it's good, because they other people they know may not find it to be good music, but they love it and they like listening to that music. So that's ideally kind of what I'm thinking. Also, when I was writing my Spotify bio, I used the term gateway artist, because how I kind of see myself is like, you find me through like a genre that you like, a genre that you listen to a lot of, and then you get to experience more of my music and more of the music that I like to do, and maybe you start to like that genre, so then you go out and listen to other people similar to that style that you just listened to. Like a lot of my friends from high school, they were like big in the hip hop scene. I started making rock music, and I got their attention with the hip hop music, showed them my rock music, and they started listening to like more rock music. So yeah, like people that listen to everything. And also for me, I just want to be someone that people can explore through, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What are the top four presets in your vehicle as far as music? What are
Mm.
the main, I'm not going to say, well, yeah, okay. What are the main genres you listen to as far as music?
Main genres for me are going to be classic rock, like 80s, 70s, like 60s to 80s, and a little bit of 90s as well. That era of rock and roll. Um, a lot of the 2000 to most recent type of metal, and all the subgenres of metal as well, like metalcore, heavy metal, deathcore, stuff like that. Hip hop music as well, but not like the um how should I say this? Not like the almost hyperactive sort of hip hop music that we see from artists like Playboi Carti or Destroy Lonely, Lil Uzi Vert, hip hop artists like that. I don't really mess with a lot of that, so I just don't listen to that. But like Tupac, Biggie, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, like anything from the 90s to late 2010s. Hip hop is what I listen to. And country. Like there's a lot of country music that I play. Like I say country in quotations. It's more like pop music with country twang, like Morgan Wallen or Jelly Roll, Post Malone, Shabuzi a little bit. Or I will actually listen to genuine country like George Strait, Marty Robbins, Noah Kahan. I consider him more like real country. But yeah, those are my four.
So when you write music, do you ever try to blend different genres? Because I know it seems not only in Nashville, but just music in general, it seems like, well, let's say country music in Nashville. Huh. Country music in Nashville seems to be really blending pop music. It seems to be blending hip hop music. It just seems like country right now is kind of a catch all for different genres. Um, some good, some bad as far
Mm-hmm.
as the music goes. I'm more of a purist when it comes to music in general. I do
Mm-hmm.
enjoy a well crafted song that has other genres in it, a well done
Mm-hmm.
song. Because
Yeah.
I think music can be interpreted so many different ways. And again, music is art.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really, I mean, you can put art in a box, but you can't put all art in a box.
Right.
But
Yes.
since you listen to so many different genres and write for so many different genres, when you're writing a song, have you ever looked at that song and said, I can't really see where this would fit in, but I know it's a good song?
Hmm. Yeah. I've done that quite a couple of times. Uh, one that comes to mind is a song I wrote back in 2023 called Reflections. It's it's like a more of a ballad, but also has it's like a ballad that has styles of like John Lennon or John Legend, excuse me. And like um the song I can't remember the name of the song actually, but like John Lennon or that kind of like slow somber style, but it also in a sense it kind of gives that gives a feeling of determination of continuing to push through, almost kind of like a rock song or like a rock ballad, but there's no like heavy guitars or like guitar solo or anything. It's just like piano and strings and that. Um, so yeah, there's that song, but also like a song I wrote last year, All for Nothing. It's a rock song, but the second verse cuts the rock and instead switches over to a rap beat. And I just rap on it. And so I'm not it's so that's kind of like a not necessarily a blend, but it's like it's the rock and then break with a rap and then go back into that rock.
So, what kind of feedback have you gotten on that song?
Um I'm not a huge fan of that song, but I tend to talk about that one a lot whenever I like talk about blending music, but I've gotten feedback that like my vocals are too loud, um, or that the rap just doesn't really like feel like it fits in a sense on that. And because the rest of the song is aggressive, and then the rap is like also kind of aggressive but more laid back at the same time.
What
But
makes your work special? Why should I listen to your music?
hmm, hmm, you should listen to my music because because of my passion, but I'm very passionate about the stuff that I do and the work that I put out, and I don't necessarily like. Hmm. Well, you should listen to my music because I feel like with that passion, I feel like a lot of situations that I write about can be very relatable, very relatable. A lot of the music that I wrote last year, like just for example, is about like breakups and like relationship breakups and also friendship breakups, like just dealing with all of that. And I know people have had those sort of instances where that happens. So I feel like it connects with people. And also to like see my growth is another main reason that I like tell tell people to listen to my music because I'm upfront and honest with people when I tell them I'm not the best. I'm just doing it for like passion because I love doing it. But I love to do it so much and I love not improvising, improving on my sound and my quality to like make good music. So I think seeing that progression as I have gone and will continue to go is another reason why I think people should sit around and listen to my music. In a sense, it's sort of like buying stocks, where like you buy it when it's like you buy it when it's low, and then you hope it gets high. You buy it at its lowest point, and then you have to sit and wait until it gets high, and then you can sell and make money off of that. In a sense, it's sort of like you're seeing me here now, and you've seen where I have been. Watch me get higher. Watch me get better. And I promise you, when I get better, maybe some of those songs you'll enjoy more, but also the stuff that I've made now and in the past, I hope you do enjoy because I put a lot of time into that music.
So it seems like you have a goal in music to get better with both vocals, writing, presentation, everything. It seems like you have goals in mind for your music.
Mm-hmm.
What are the goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years with your music? Because you say you're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're working on music almost daily and you're getting better in music, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself sort of not necessarily relaxing, but also um, just taking like more time to like perfect my craft before I put something out. Like the past couple years when I've been making music, all I've done is been like just put it out, just like work on it and then put it out as is, which is why the self-titled album, as much as I like a lot of the songs off there, I will admit it's not put together that well. It's not at all. There's like sound issues and there's also like just mainly issues with my voice. And then you get to the second album that I wrote, Dead Inside, and the vocals got worse, but also the sound of the music got better. And so, but like every year from 2021 to 24, I put out at least one album and I just put them out like as is. But this year, what I've done, like I've taken all of 2024 to work on my album coming out fairly soon. And I've taken all of 2025 to perfect the sound in a way that like sounds good and also I like. So I plan on doing 5 years, spending more time off of like instead of putting out music as is, mixing, getting better at mixing and mastering, and having that improvement just kind of continue to work on something that I can actually like sit down and enjoy when I listen to it, and also have other people around me like enjoy it.
You said you plan on doing better mixing and mastering of your music. Um, how are you going about that? What is the process for you to learn how to mix and master an album? Are you taking classes for that, or are you using YouTube for that, or do you know people? What's the process? Because there are so many artists out there who are doing the same thing you are. They're
Mhm.
wanting to they're wanting each album they put out to be better, both sound, vocals, production, everything. And there may not they may not know how to go about doing something like that. What is your process for getting better at those?
So for the first 3 years of my music, I did not mix at all. No mixing, especially with my vocals. That was like the main issue that I had. Vocals were not mixed that well. And also, I had a really bad microphone at the time. So I've improved. I've gotten a better microphone, which doesn't solve all of the issues. But I learned through the venue community. I was speaking to Michael, Darth Martin. I was speaking to him about the first song I put out this year, Take a Stand. And he was like, this is a really good song, but the vocal mixing needs a little bit of work. So what he taught me is like doubling of vocals, and also like lowering volumes and getting the EQ and dynamic compressor at like just the right tone, like just the right point. So it sounds like actually like really high quality as compared to consistently topping out on the microphone. So, and also mastering, I picked up from a buddy of mine. He just said to throw it into BandLab and put the mastering on it, like just the AI, not the AI mastering, but also the like default settings for mastering. But I've taken that, and I've also started mixing my vocals in BandLab as well as my DAW that I already use, Soundtrap. So I'll mix most of them in Soundtrap, and then I'll take two separate two separate files. One's the instrumental and one is the vocals. I'll take the vocals, I'll put them both into BandLab, and then I'll like add some auto tune on in BandLab, because I find that BandLab's auto tune is typically a lot better than Soundtrap's auto tune. But add some auto tune, add another EQ on it, or no, not an EQ, a de-esser. So like my S sounds or like sounds like that are not punchy and like not annoying. That's something that bugs me a lot in music now that I've actually like started to take care of like my production, because I will listen to music and I hear that like one time and I can't hear it. I can't unhear it. Like it's just, it bugs me because like that S sound is so loud and it's so obnoxious. It takes away from the whole point of the song. Immediately what comes to mind when I say that is Skillet's album Rise. Like it's an okay, in my eyes it's an okay album, but one of the things that makes me not listen to it a whole lot is the mixing, because mixing is not great. You can't really hear guitars. You hear a lot of John Cooper's like S sounds poke through, like Herbert the Pervert from Family Guy. Like it sounds just like that. Um, it's very loud on drums and synthetic violins. It's just all over the place. It sounds like they rushed it, but they didn't, which is weird, because you'd think for like doing music for as long as they did at the time that they would have like maybe have been able to notice that, or maybe their producers would have been able to notice it. But like immediately after that, they fixed it and made probably one of their better albums, Unleashed. But I can't listen to that album because of its mixing. So I work really hard not to have that issue. I notice it in a lot of my older tracks, and I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of hearing that S sound or sounds like that just poke through the mix. And then, yeah, when it's all said and done, I throw on the overall, like the general mix, general master, and then I listen back to it a couple of times, see if there's anything I need to fix. Then I fix it, and then when I'm finally happy with it, I'll start like putting it out.
What's the next hurdle in music that you got to get over?
Hmm. If I'm serious about like doing live performances with my music, which I've wanted to do for a while, but I just, as of right now in college, it's kind of hard for me to be able to do something like that because, well, money's tight, and also where I'm at, there aren't a whole lot of venues to play at. But finding somewhere to play and get heard by more people is a hurdle for me that I need to get over. I just need to start actually doing it. Like I have all the materials necessary to be able to do it in like the palm of my hands. I just need to do it.
What drives you to create music?
It always depends on what I'm feeling. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it's like, usually, honestly, it's just the hard times in my life and like something will happen to me and I'm like, I need to write about this or else I'm going to feel bottled up. Like I'm going to bottle it up and things aren't going to be that great for me. So I I just write about that, but also recently uh just been writing about like whatever comes to mind. Like I've been writing about my girlfriend a lot. I know that's so cliche, but I've been writing about her so much recently. Um and anything else that really just comes to mind, I try to write at least a verse, if not a whole song about it because like I got to get it out somewhere. So that drive is past experiences that I've had and also just what I'm feeling.
So is all your music personal experiences you've been through, or would you say maybe you've written a song that you watched someone else go through an experience and it affected you so much you wrote a song? Or is everything specific to you?
Very, very good question. Um, oh my gosh, I can't remember. I've written so much, but most of the songs that I've written about are like all of them are about my personal experiences. Most of them are not good. Like my album that I'm releasing this year, like in a couple months, is all about previously the stuff that I'd written about in 2024, just kind of getting that out one last time. Because I went through a lot then. I went through a breakup and then I lost friends. Then they started not being that great to me. And I was like, I got to write about this. I got to do something. But I didn't want to put that album out at the time because I had already released an album earlier that year. And I didn't want to do two albums within the span of the year. And also, I wanted to make sure I liked it and it sounded good. So, but yeah, and a lot of the music beforehand has been also about breakups and just reflections I wrote that about turning 18 and just realizing that my life is probably not going to be the same as it was. Written a couple love songs, but yeah, it's just, yeah, kind of stuff. It's usually just stuff that I'm feeling.
What sacrifices have you made for music, and was it worth it?
Hmm. I, not necessarily a sacrifice, but I ruined, yeah, I'm just gonna come clean and say it. I ruined my, I really, not ruined my relationships, but like when I wrote my 2023 album Sad Boy Hours, um, it like took a deep, deep cut at my ex, and she was not happy. Not happy at all. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. We're never gonna get back together, so I don't really care. Her family was very upset with the things I didn't like cuss her out or say anything bad like that. I was just writing a song about something that had happened in my feelings, and she didn't like it, and her family wanted me to take it down. I said no because this is my music, my emotions, and they cut ties with me. But this was after a breakup, so it didn't really matter. But it was worth it, 100% worth it.
What subjects and or emotions are easy to write about? And, and then the following question, which ones are not easy to write about?
Uh, for me, it's easy to write about negative things like breakups, heartbreak, lose like loss, grief, stuff like that. I find that easy because I've gone through a lot of stuff like that, and it just comes to me naturally. And I guess on the flip side, writing about love, writing about positive things, things that are going good in my life. That's hard because, at least for me, it's hard to notice like a lot of good things that happen in my life. But when I do notice it, another reason why it's so hard is because I want to make sure like it's good. Because I've written songs in the past that are supposed to be like happy and like feel good, but they're cringy and they're corny listening back to them. And I'm like, and as of recent, I'm like, okay, let's take that and let's take all that good, like the good stuff, let's make it better. So let's just work harder, like how I do when I write the negative stuff, to write positive stuff. So yeah, just being as much as it sucks to say that, being negative is easier for me to write about, but also I'm working on writing positive stuff.
What are you passionate about besides music?
Uh I am passionate about the people that I am around, especially as of recently. They are good people, great people, and I'm very passionate to talk about them and be around them inside the venue community and outside of them, like my personal friend group, like my Wind Symphony friends, my friends back at home, um, all of the friends that I've really made. I'm very passionate about them. I'm passionate about mental health. That's a big thing that I write about a lot, and I'm passionate to like see people like have better mental health and just be positive with themselves because I know what it's like to be in their shoes and I don't want to see them down that path, if that makes sense.
Do you think mental health is talked about as much as it should be when it comes to music? You think mental health is addressed properly when it comes to music?
I think it's addressed properly, but like the reception to it isn't necessarily what it should be. Like for me, I'll write a song that like about my mental health, and then instead of like somebody checking in on me like, hey, are you okay? Do you need to talk about this or anything? People tell me, this song is great. Keep doing stuff like that. This is awesome. And I see that in a lot of artists as well, because like they do that to like get their feelings out. A lot of times, at least with me, see if anybody really cares and like cares about the stuff that they're going through. But it doesn't feel like they're getting that kind of care back, if that makes sense.
Well, do you think that other artists notice the subject matter or notice you kind of opening up and reaching out? Have you
Mm.
ever gotten, I guess, the proper response from another artist or someone in the industry?
Um,
Because I know as a consumer, when I hear music, I kind of take the song and apply it to my own life, which is the reason behind music being played as much as it's played,
Mm-hmm.
um, and being everywhere. But at the same time, if you really sit down and listen to the song, you see the subject in the song. And certain songs in certain genres, you can see an artist is saying, hey, I'm reaching out. Things are
Mm-hmm.
not good right now.
Yeah.
But the song, because of maybe even other songs played around it,
Mm-hmm.
once that song is played, a catchy song is played to kind of bring your mood back up.
Yeah.
Because commercial music doesn't want to bring you down and leave you down there, but they don't want to
Right.
keep you high all the time. So they got to play a variety of music to
Mm-hmm.
keep you, to try to, because everybody's feeling different every day.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
may be feeling great today. I may not be feeling great. We're listening to the same radio station. While the feeling great songs, man, whoever's on cloud nine, they're going to hear all those. But
Yeah.
whoever's depressed, all the down songs are going to be what
Mm-hmm.
that person keys in on.
Yes.
Do you think mental health is talked about in the right way in music?
Yeah, I personally feel like it is. Something that kind of like comes to mind when I think of mental health is Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. Like the way that the music that he wrote before his passing was very clear that things were not going well, and he wrote a lot of those songs beautifully, genuinely like really emotional, hard-hitting songs where like they lift you up, but also when you start to listen to them, you really notice, like, you can really feel the music. It's almost like I saw someone left a comment on a YouTube video on one of their music videos on YouTube. It's like it's almost like he's writing a love letter to the fans and his suicide note at the same time with all of his music. And you didn't really notice those things until he passed. And you go back and listen to the music and you're like, that it's very clear that he was going through something. But I think the way that he did it was amazing because like he just outright addressed it, addressed his feelings, made a song about it. And yeah, and I feel like if you're going to write about your mental health and your feelings, maybe try and take a Linkin Park stab at it.
Does your music heal you when you write those songs?
Yes, absolutely. It makes me feel better to like have that negative energy out in a space that is good, that like gets it heard, gets it addressed. And then once it's out, I stop feeling that way because I don't really have the need to feel it anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you get any kind of feedback from fans when you write those really emotional songs? Do you get any responses where they say, you know what, I've felt that exact same way?
Mhm. I get it a couple times, especially from my mom. She listens to a lot of my music and she's like, well, first she's like, are you okay? Like she'll listen to some of those darker songs. She's like, make sure that I'm okay. Which, mom, if you're watching this, I love you. I love you a lot. Thank you so very much for supporting me. But yeah, she'll ask if I'm okay, and then she'll be like, I really felt this song. This song like hit me. It made me like feel and understand how you feel because I've also gone through stuff like that. So I'm glad that you put that out. And also in the past, last year I had written a song that somehow my music teacher had gotten a hold of, and it was very dark and it was very scary, and she had reached out to me, made sure I was okay, and also like had the school come out, like talk to me, like made sure I was okay. I'm like, oops, I did not mean for you to see that, but I'm very thankful that you checked in on me. Very thankful. I'm okay, but I just needed to get that out. So like, yeah, people do reach out to me and they're like, this hits like really hard, very close to home. And also they check, see if I'm okay.
Which one of your songs is your favorite?
Oh my goodness, this is really hard. This is hard. This is really good. Um, I've got like I cannot pick just one song. Always whenever I like make a project, there's always like a song that I love so much and I consider it like some of my top music. I can admit when a song is bad. Like if I write a song and it's bad, I'm calling it bad because it's not great. But um some of my favorite music that I've written, Hydrogen Bombs, Against the Odds, uh Rest in Peace, My Ex Shot My Brains Out. That's a really fun song. What else? We Make the Devil Look Like a Bitch is probably one of my favorite title songs, and also like one of my favorite songs, period. Uh Rise, Your Heavenly Presence. A lot of the stuff off my album Internal Struggle, I am a very big fan of. Uh yeah, just a lot of the stuff, also some of the stuff from 2024 that I wrote, I like a lot. And a lot of the newer stuff I'm putting out, I'm very, very passionate and love.
What is your favorite part about making music?
The creative process, because I'm a very creative person. So sitting at my computer and working on and writing something, it gets me going. It gets me like super excited and like very happy. And then when it's finally done, I like sit back and I'm like, I just made such a good song. I'm so happy about it. And then I get to the marketing stuff and I'm like, can someone else please do this for me? Because I don't mind doing it. Don't get me wrong. I do not mind doing it, but it's a lot. It takes a lot to like understand how to get your music heard by the right people, and also just making sure it gets heard and not stuck at like 200 views on Instagram or something.
Would you say, as a creative, you have a very vivid imagination?
Yeah, absolutely. Always. I'm always thinking of like something vivid or something creative, even when I'm supposed to be studying or listening to a lecture. Like it just comes to mind. I'm like, I got to take a step back. I need to think about this real quick. And sometimes it's really fun to do that, but also sometimes it's like deteriorating to a lot of the things I do. But my imagination is very wild, and I'm always thinking about how can I blend my interests in a way that are like in a way that is super fun and really and gets me passionate about something and gets other people passionate about it because it's different. It's different from like the stuff that they listen to. So how can I like get them to like feel the same way that I feel when I made this, if that makes sense?
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Good question. I don't know. I'm a mix of both if I'm being honest. Like I like being out with people. It's usually a lot of fun, but also I don't mind being inside or being alone or just kind of doing my own thing. It really just depends what I'm feeling. Yeah.
What makes you happy?
Music. Music makes me happy. Uh, my friends make me happy. Just sitting around and being able to like relax after a long day of school and work. That is like some of the best times I've had. A girlfriend makes me happy, and my mom makes me happy. A lot of people in my life make me happy. Just video games make me happy too when I have time for them. But yeah, that's about it.
If you could sit down and have a sprite with anyone in the music business, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Dead or alive?
Yes.
Freddie Mercury.
Why?
I've always been a huge fan of Queen. They are my favorite band and my favorite artist of all time. Freddie Mercury, like the how passionate he was about the music and everything that he felt and like did to the industry and the sound of the music. So like sitting down and having to talk with him about how he did it, why he did it, and what pushed him to keep going would be really fun.
Do you think Freddie Mercury would listen to your music?
Maybe not. If I'm if I'm being honest, maybe not. But I hope he would. Realistically, probably not. But if I like talked to him about it and showed him how passionate I was about it, maybe he'd like listen to a track or two or just a couple, like to see kind of what I'm getting at.
What is the best advice you've been given in music?
You got to make the world your own. You got to take the talent and the gift that you are given, and you need to find a way to not essentially rule the world with it, but also like be on top of it. Be not number one, but also be great. I've heard that from like some of my mom's friends and my trumpet professor here at school. He's talked about it a lot. He's very happy that I'm passionate about my music, and he's always offering ways to like market my music and also like treat the music like a business or like how to improve as well. He's a big influence on a lot of my stuff as of recent and my passion. And yeah, also mix your music. That is another big thing I have learned. Mix it, make it sound good. You can have the passion for it and it can be a good song, but if it's not mixed well, people are not going to listen to it.
Do you give that same advice to the students that you teach, the people you work with?
Yeah, I would, honestly, because it's super important to know not only like make the song good, but make it something you like and use your talent to the best of your abilities. I feel like that is so crucial when it comes to being an artist because you're not just a hit maker. You're not just somebody who stands on stage in front of like 1,000, a million people. Yeah, you're not just that person. You are the artist. You are the one creating. You have to use your talents for good.
How have you changed over time as an artist, a writer, and a performer?
My writing has improved a lot ever since I started because the songs I wrote whenever I started were corny and they essentially were just like lines just kind of put together that were that told like got across what it was supposed to get across, but also they did so in a way that wasn't necessarily expressive. It was just there. It was just kind of out there and you already knew it. Whereas now with writing, I'm like always trying to make it more expressive, or how can I say this in a way that makes people really think about it? Like think about what they just heard. And my productions also changed a lot because I used a lot of GarageBand when I started. And ever since that, I've been just kind of like stepping away from using that and using original sounds from me to like just kind of like make better sounds, better musicality in my music and make it actually feel like music and not just a 1-4-5 chord in different keys all the time.
Do you have any unfinished music?
Yes, I have. I'm always working on music, so I've got a lot of unfinished music. I've got country music I'm working on. I'm probably going to put it out next year. And my album coming out is not unfinished. I'm still putting finishing touches on it, but it's pretty much ready to go. I'd be happy with where it's at now.
How many songs do you think you have that are unfinished?
Usually I try to like, at least when I think about the music I've done, I only think about the finished stuff. But the unfinished stuff, there's probably, if I got like 100 songs out now, I'd probably say like 500 songs are unfinished, maybe 600, almost 1,000. But a lot of them I've just kind of thrown out because I don't know how to fix them. I don't know how to finish them. So I just throw them out, or I've grown a lot since the last time I recorded it or wrote it. So I'm not going to do it or I change a couple things. It always just depends.
Do you ever experience writer's block?
Every day. I am experiencing writer's block right now. I've been trying to write a song for a while and I haven't been able to. It's been really hard to kind of like be expressive. I blame moving up to college for that because I just moved up last week. So, and I got straight to school, like straight to classes like 2 days later. So I haven't had a lot of time to like think or like had time to write. But I'm trying with every chance I get. And I'm getting somewhere on a song, but it's just going to take a little bit more time than I thought it would.
Well, I know a lot of artists, a lot of writers experience writer's block, and everyone has their own way of getting around it. What's your way of getting around writer's block?
Sometimes I just listen to like another song and then I hear a line from the song and I'm like, that is really good. That gave me some ideas. I need to sit down and actually write it. Because, like an example, very recently I was listening to Weight of the World by Chris Stapleton, and the main chorus, like, give me your darkest hour, give me your deepest thought, I think it is. Those kind of lines, give me the bars and chains. Those gave me like inspiration to write a song that's like, I want to feel like what you're feeling. I want to take away the pain that you have been dealt I want to take that away from you and I want to feel it for you so that you can live a happy life and you could feel good about yourself because you don't deserve to feel that way. I will gladly take it for you.
Other than your college friends, your professors, is there any community in your area for your style of music?
Jeff City really doesn't have opportunities for musicians, period. Like, regardless of rock musicians or especially rappers, because there are not a lot of rappers in Jeff City, and they don't really get heard a whole lot. I was looking recently. I think there's only like 2, maybe 3 outside of me, and they don't really like do much. So there's not a lot of opportunities for musicians if you're not like a cover band. If you're like an original band, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time down in Jeff City, because there are no venues to play at. There's only like bars, like a couple bars and occasionally like a Thursday night live situation that you have to be really lucky to get into. But like if you play the instruments live, that's the main thing. But like if you don't, you're out of luck in Jeff City. Kirksville, I mean, like Kirksville, I don't really know actually. Like I want to say it's a similar boat, but also I feel like with how small Kirksville is, they wouldn't necessarily mind like a rapper coming into a bar or like somebody who like produced all of their music electronically playing music there.
Do you think there are enough artists at your college that you could maybe once a week have maybe an open mic or just set up a stage somewhere, maybe in one of the classrooms that is already built out, and you could just have people come in and perform, and maybe invite the the community to come in, make it maybe like a free event, just kind of to express the art of music to the community, and also to let writers and producers and singers and instrumentalists get up there and perform. Just something to kind of bring everybody together and something to help creatives express themselves. Do you have that opportunity, or could you create that opportunity at your college?
I bet I probably could create that opportunity. I had not even thought of anything like that at all because to my knowledge, it's just me that makes music and some of the professors up here have a rock band that they play music. But like if we could work on something maybe to like maybe there is someone else up here that does do music but it's not known. So like if we have like an open mic or like an open performance night, they can probably come out there and like do something like that to get themselves heard. That's that's so smart. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. That's that's crazy.
Well, now you have another project to work on.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever considered giving up music?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time I'm like, maybe it's just not cut out for me. Maybe I just need to do something else full time. But that's part of being a musician. There's going to be times when you're like, I don't know if I could do this. You're going to have those hard times in your life, but that's what truly makes a musician. If you really care about the music, you can ask yourself that question, take a break, and then when you're taking that break, you realize I can't live without doing this. I need to be writing music. I need to be creating something. A true musician does not give up for too long.
What is your most useless talent?
Uh, Most useless talent. Um, I've never thought about that. I don't think I have one. Uh, I'm just checking myself now because I'm like thinking, is there anything on my body that I can do? Or, um, I mean, I can play kazoo kind of well, but that's about the only thing I could think of.
The number of instruments involved in your music. Please tell me there's a kazoo somewhere in one of your songs.
I don't think I have one yet.
You should write one.
I need to buy one,
Who
yes.
else out there is playing that in one of their songs?
Right, yeah. That could be a selling point for me. That could be something like people find like that sets me apart. Like, oh, this guy has a kazoo in his song? I gotta listen to that.
Like, you never know. I mean, people I've seen people play chainsaws. I've seen people
Hmm.
play buckets. Seen cowbell, obviously. I mean, why not a
Yeah.
kazoo?
Why not? Yeah.
I've seen washboards played. I have seen a saw played. I interviewed an artist um, a while back who plays the wood saw. Now he plays blues music is his style of music, but he plays a saw, a simple wood saw that you cut wood with, not an electric saw or a chainsaw. I have seen the chainsaw, but he plays a saw. If he
Okay.
can play a saw, you can play a kazoo because that's an
Yeah.
instrument. A
Hmm.
saw's not
Yeah.
an instrument, but he made it. I'm not saying only he, his style of music has made a saw an instrument. Washboards
That's
have been instruments. Jugs
that's
with
in,
jug bands. I mean, come on. You can throw a kazoo in there.
yeah, I could easily do that.
Being a young man, what are your thoughts on music videos and social media for indie artists?
Hmm. I there are pros and cons to social media in particular. I think if you're going to be an artist, you probably ought to make a music video for at least like one of your songs on a project you're putting out because like it looks better. And also like you put a lot of work into that. And if you have a vision to go along with that music video, write a script, get some friends together and just mess around, do something silly or follow the script and just do that. But social media definitely has its pros and cons. Pros being a lot of times it can get you hurt. It will definitely get you heard. It'll boost your numbers. And really, that's what a lot of people care about the most in music, not even record labels. They just want to see that you have a high following. Because a lot of my friends that do music, they have like 200, 300, 400 followers, and not a lot of people will listen to them. But somebody who's got like 10K followers, they're blowing up. They're just blowing up because like they could make like the worst song ever, and like the people with 10K they could make like a horrible song, people will still listen to it because he's got high numbers. And then my friends, they'll make like genuinely like a really good song, but it doesn't get heard because of the low numbers. So yeah, that's also a con because numbers, people are so focused on numbers in anything outside of music too, that if you don't have the high numbers, they're not going to listen to you. Also, your mental health is it's going to deteriorate whenever you start promoting on social media or just doing anything on social media. I'd like I try to use it as much as I can to promote my music, but also there's a lot of hate in my video in my like comment sections. There's a lot of people that are just not being very nice just for the sake of not being nice. That can take like a huge toll on your head. I had to take a break for a while. I think it was like 2 or 3 days at most, where I just had to stop putting music out or stop putting videos out because I just couldn't handle the negativity. Now, if it's genuine feedback that like somebody, a producer, an artist, or somebody who's passionate about music, if it's like genuine, like feedback on how to improve, then yeah, listen to it. But if somebody's just calling it trash for no reason and tell you to stop making music, no, don't listen to it. But it can be hard to do that, especially when all you get is that negative output when you're trying to put out something that you enjoy. But I say honestly, it's a double-edged sword, honestly. It's good for growth, but it's bad for almost anything else.
How do you deal with the haters in your comments section?
When I was when I was younger, I did not handle it at all. I'd see it and I would be devastated. truly, like, actually devastated because, like, oh, well, I guess this song is awful now because this guy didn't like it, and I really wanted a lot of people to like this. But what I've learned is just ignore them. Just like take a look at that comment and be like, huh, he has time to hate on the internet. He has got nothing better going on. So just laugh at it because at the end of the day, you're just trying to do something that you love. If it's not the best, that's okay because you're improving. You're working on being better. So what's the point in letting like one hate comment out of like maybe two or three good comments? What's the point in letting that bring you down?
So you look at a hate comment or a bad comment and you try to see if it's genuine criticism
Mm-hmm.
or someone that is just trolling you and wanting to make you feel bad. Do
Yeah.
you, when you get the criticism, does it hurt at first and then you address it? Or have you ever gotten constructive criticism that you took to heart and maybe in your next song or your next video you improved a certain aspect based on a negative comment that you got from someone?
Oh yeah. A lot of times I will get like a comment that's like, "Hey, this is a good song, but like maybe change a couple of things like in the mix or like just how you wrote it. Maybe change up the way that it sounds just to like make it a little bit better." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. I'll try messing around with it, see how it goes." It's like you never know. And so like on my next song, I'll be more careful with like either my mixing or my writing, whatever it is, and then I'm like, "Oh, this is much better than what I had done. Much, much better." But sometimes it's like, here's a constructive criticism that you should probably at least try. I try it and I'm not a big fan of it. And I'm not a big fan of like the sound, so I don't typically go back to it. But like if I take the criticism and I like work on it and I like it, yeah, I'm probably going to use it again. And I've done that a couple times with a couple comments, but if I don't find it useful, I'm not going to listen to it.
Do you respond back to the people that gave you the constructive criticism?
Yes, always. A lot of times it's just like, hey, thanks for letting me know I can work on that with my next song. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I'll even ask questions like, can I like reach out to you at all possible if I have any more questions on like how to do that or something like that. And sometimes I will like if somebody's like trolling or trying to make fun of me, I'll respond back to them trolling or respond or like jokingly because like it don't bother me that you're saying that. Why are you saying it? You ain't getting under my skin.
How long does it take for one of your songs to go from concept to being released to the wild?
Hmm. Usually, the quickest I've done it is like a couple weeks. Like, I'll write it out, I'll get it, and then I'll write it out, I'll have it all like at a point where I like it, and I just put it out. Sometimes it takes a lot longer. My song, Scars, took several months, I think maybe almost a whole year to like put out because I was working on it with the collaborative artist I worked on, and then we both forgot about it until like mid 2024. We were like, oh, here's some things we should probably fix on here, but we like this. We're going to probably put it out. So it really just depends on like both the time period I'm in and also like the effort I put into it, and also if I forget, because that happens sometimes.
Why did you choose music to express yourself?
Mm-hmm. I just found that it was the best output for me. What got me into writing music was several months of like dealing with a breakup and get had feeling very emotional and feeling like I had no place to get that out there. So like one night when I was just driving around with my mom, she put in the Cracked Rear View by Hootie and the Blowfish CD into the car, and I was blown away. And at that moment, I realized I want to start writing music. I feel like this would be like a really good place for me to like put out my emotions. So like, yeah, it's to get that out there after like a lot of stuff I've been through.
Do you feel like that is the best way for you to express yourself is through music? Or have you tried anything other than music, say poetry or photography or painting? Or
Mm.
is music just your your go-to?
I've tried like I've tried poetry once before. I forgot that I did it, so I haven't gone back to it. Um, Really, I just found that music stuck with me because of how expressive I could be with it. And but I've done other stuff to like get that out. I've like written like I used to write books when I was really young, and I used to like write like little movies, or I used to like make little movies with like the stuff in my room to kind of like express what I was feeling and also like just try and tell a good story. But I kind of just found that music was best for me after like years of trying to figure out what I wanted to like do to get my emotions out.
If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
Marketing. I think marketing would probably be the path that I go down if it wasn't music, because at least studying it or doing something like that. Because I have good connections back in Jeff City to like a really nice job. I worked at that place for like the past 2 summers, and it's like it not only pays high, but also it's like a lot of fun work outside of the work that I was doing. So, that really like sparked interest in marketing specifically. And I feel like if I decided music wasn't the thing for me, doing something related to that would be a lot of fun.
What do you do for fun away from music?
I play video games a couple times, or I'm in a practice room practicing and just hanging out with friends, being around people.
You feel you've paid your dues in music.
Uh,
You feel like you've put in the time, the effort, you've expressed your emotions properly in writing and performing.
I think once this album gets out that I'm working on or that I'm pushing out, then yes, I will have felt like I've essentially paid my dues. But there's always going to be stuff that happens that just comes up and I write about it and I make it. But yeah, I'd say at least writing wise, I've paid my dues, but production wise, always room to grow.
You think there's room to grow in your writing as well?
Yeah. I mean, it's never going to be like, I'm never going to see it as perfect because I wrote it and there's like just a couple things that listening back to it, I could have probably changed. But like if I'm overall happy with it, then like, yeah, not really a problem with it.
How many collaborations have you done in music, all genres?
Hmm. Great question. Um, my first ever collaboration was a song that I wrote with my grandma, for my grandma, excuse me, with a couple of friends of mine. Like four or five of us got together and we just kind of worked on it. And it's not the best song in the world, if I'm being honest. It's one of my weaker ones, but it was very good to like put that out there. But then I took a break from collaborations for a while. I made a song with one of my friends from high school back in 2024, and I did it again at the end of 2024, and that was like a rock. The second one was like a ballad of sorts, like a hip hop ballad that was like a hip hop song, but like singing over it instead of like rapping. And the second song was like an emo pop punk song mixed with like metal. And then I did Saints Row earlier this year with Zaybala, which was pure rap, followed by Who I Want to Be with Pathos the Ghost, uh, like a rock and rap hybrid, almost like a Linkin Park sort of situation. Uh, what happened after that? After that, I put out a rap song that I really liked, and I let the venue community like I let some friends in there, or all of them. I let all of them like hop on it and like rap on it, but I got like a couple of their verses, so that's out there. Um, one of my favorite, I think probably one of my favorite collaborations from this year is my work with Saxman. I don't know if he is a friend of mine from the venue community who played a lot of saxophone. That was his whole thing, and we made a song together that's like different from the stuff that I make and also different from the stuff that he makes. And it kind of just came together. It was like beautifully made. And also like it showed me that there's still room to improve on your sound and your quality, but also still make like a good song. Cause cause like I produced the beat mostly, but then he went through and like edited a couple things, made it sound a little bit better on top of adding the saxophone, which was amazing, incredible. I'm very honored to have been able to work with him. Genuinely, he was a great man. And that was one of my favorites. And then there's a song I did with Past November in G.3, where we're like very deep and emotional. And then earlier this month, I put out a song with Lil Red where we're just like goofing off, just kind of being funny guys. So it's a lot of collaborations I've done, a lot of which are from the venue community, all people that I met through venue. But yeah, but it's been absolutely worth it.
What would you like your fans to know about you?
Hmm. I want them to know that I am also human. Like whatever they have experienced and gone through, I've probably also gone through it. And I want them to know I'm here. I'm here for you. You are the reason why I make my music. On top of having a place for me to get my emotions out and get that out, it's also there for you if you need it as well.
All right. We're kind of up against the clock um, for this interview. And I always like to finish my interviews with this same question. What are two questions you've never been asked in an interview? And what are the answers to those questions?
So this is actually my first interview related to like music. So um but I got to say it's been genuinely enjoyable. But like I've had a lot of fun tonight and I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to be on this show and talk to you about this. Um but like outside of that, a couple people have like asked me questions related to my music, like how did you start? What do you write about? What is the type of music you make? But a question that I really wish people would ask me is, what are your inspirations? Like who or what inspired you to start writing music? And for me, like initially, I have like three inspirations, two of which are like kind of inspirations, but they also like they didn't inspire my sound, but they inspired me to keep going. The first one is obviously Hootie and the Blowfish. I mention them a lot because a they're a huge impact on my life. I love Darius Rucker. I love the whole band. I love their sound, and the Cracked Review gave me like creative ideas to start writing music and doing that sort of stuff. But there is a local band from Jeff City that I know. I went to high school with them actually, and they inspired me to like actually put my music out. And it's this little small band called Brutal Farm Slaughter. They're a metal instrumental band about farm animals, like farm related stuff, and they have a clarinet as well. They're such they're awesome guys, great band to listen to, and they just put out an album last year that was incredible. It was one of my favorite releases from the year, honestly. But that's the thing with like I think that's the thing with metal music, if I'm being honest. The more underground it is, the better it kind of is. But they inspired me to like actually put that music out. So those were my main two. I've added Post Malone very recently as an inspiration for me because like he inspires me to be creative and versatile. And I love Post Malone for the reasons that a lot of people don't like him. They say like, "Oh, he's a culture vulture. He's like just doing this music just to get viral. He doesn't actually care about it." Admittedly, he probably doesn't. But also, um, I see that as not necessarily being a culture vulture, but also showing his versatility because he's put out albums like Stony or Beer Bongs and Bentleys that are like hip hop, and now he's doing country music and he's done pop music. I think that versatility is something that all artists should really strive to be. All artists should strive to be like versatile, creative, and just not feel like they're restricted by like a genre or like by a musical genre. If you want to do a song in a different genre, you shouldn't feel bad for doing it. Like if you make rap music and you decide to do a 180 and do like a folk song, you shouldn't feel bad about it because you're expressing yourself. That's the whole point. And the other question that I really wish people would ask me is, hmm, this is a really good question because honestly, I didn't think about another one. I had not. The main one I think about like consistently with me is just like what are your inspirations, but also kind of how I started. I don't think people really like talk about that a whole lot. I think aside from what inspires a musician, how they started is also like a crucial part for them. And for me, my how and my why all come from breakups, hard times, and also the music that I grew up with. It was very hard for me to decide a genre of music to write because I grew up with like rock and roll, country, gospel, Bruno Mars. I grew up with that kind of stuff. And then I get to school and people are listening to like more modern country, hip hop and rap, pop music. And a lot of my friends are listening to like more aggressive metal. And I love it all. I love it all. And it's really hard for me to pick just one genre to do. So if I can at all find like for me, yeah, just like doing it because I love it and I don't want to feel restrained or conflicted by musical genres, if that makes sense.
It does. I think it's been pretty good interviews so far. I guess, and I'm glad that you brought up mental health. I think mental health plays a huge role in art and music.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that it is addressed properly. And that's just my feeling. I don't know of enough communities out there focused on artists' mental health. And that's just, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I guess, that normally is my final question. What are two questions? But now my final question, at least in this interview, is how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing so much better than I was like a year ago, 2 years ago. Much, much better. I feel like genuinely happy. Like I actually like feel like I have a purpose and I'm doing so many good things in my life that I just don't even like, I don't even think about like how I've mentally been doing because like I feel great. I've been doing great things. I'm very happy.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making it to this part of the video. If you enjoyed the show, leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the show, let me know why you didn't enjoy the show. And if there are any questions you would like me to ask Ben next time he's on, if you'll leave those in the comments, I'll make sure that they're asked next time. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You gotta have a big ass forehead.
First stop to get a bag on his head is the last motherfucker in the way of a grave. Put ops in the ground like it's time for bed. Tuck them into the casket and take the bitch to mate. See me on the streets, they faces turn red like a panda. Better run before it's too late. Kung fu the asses the way they be dead. See ops after a while at the pearly gate. First shoot on the side as a man.